And it says we are live.
We're live.
Hi, everybody.
Tim, you want to introduce everybody?
Sure. Hi, I'm Tim. I'm with Alice, Dr. Chris Brownell, and over in the lower right corner down there is Monique Zhao. Welcome, Monique. She is GeoGebra's lead curriculum designer, and she is the reason why we're all here today. So,
I'm super excited. I'd like to have just a session with her explaining all the stuff that she does. So maybe we could set that up another time.
Definitely. Definitely. So what are we talking about today?
So I know that you've been showing me the illustrative math resources, and I tweeted it out the other day, and I got a lot of people that were really excited about it. And so my first objective here is just for people to know what it is and that it's there. And then if you haven't been teaching with GeoGebra, I'd be like, well, that's nice that all this illustrative math is in there, but what do I do with it? So I'm hoping that we can answer those questions.
Totally. So Monique, Alice, why don't you go ahead and screen share, and then Monique can start the tour, if you will. Where do I find it? That's the first question. People are like, GeoGebra's curriculum? I'm like, yeah, but I know it's not that easy to find.
Let's put that to the comments here. At GeoGebra has curriculum. There we go.
And there's more coming too. We'll tell you about that later on.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
So as you can see, we're on GeoGebra's homepage right now. If you scroll down a little under featured resources, that first thumbnail.
Right there, super quick.
Yes.
So, and to be clear, this is curriculum.
Yes, it's a fully fledged curriculum you can use throughout a whole year. So for those who aren't familiar with illustrative mathematics, illustrative math has curriculum that is OER, so open educational resources. And what that means is that it's free to use. It's free to remix. So for you who are teaching, or if you're like, say, parents at home and you need some materials to work with, or maybe you need lesson plans or things like that, illustrative math is a great place to go to. It is highly rated. It has some of the top scores on Ed Reports, and they currently have a fully fledged and reviewed middle school and high school curriculum, and they're working on elementary as well. So what we've done at GeoGebra is we've taken...
Sorry, can you say that again? Because I'm only seeing the 6th through 8th grade math curriculum. So what else do they have?
So illustrative math also has high school, and they're working on elementary. Right now, what you see is we're looking at a link to the middle school curriculum in particular. So we can use this as an example for what I'm about to show you with what GeoGebra has been doing with this curriculum. Yeah. So here, GeoGebra has taken all of the student-facing activities in grades 6 through 8 and turned them into digitally accessible resources. So on this front page, you can see at the top we have links directly to the curriculum, but below we put links to tutorial videos on how we might be able to use it with GeoGebra's tools, so on and so forth. But yeah, why don't we just look at the lesson first? So
can I give you a quick example of because the thing is, this is GeoGebra's version of the IM curriculum. And just to be clear, at GeoGebra, we have not steered from the curriculum. We pretty much kept it to its true self. The way you find it on IM site or one of the 3 partner site of IMs, the way you see it there, literally is the way you see it right here. But the only difference with GeoGebra is that with full 100% GeoGebra, it's 100% like digitally accessible. So if I could just give you a 1-minute example, just to give you a specific thing. Can you stop sharing for 1 second? So I'll go ahead and that's okay. Yeah. Let me actually go ahead and so let me hide stream. Okay. So let me add this to the stream. Actually, let me remove this and stop that, and I will try something different here. Here we go. So right here, okay, if you look here, this is can you see that parallelogram there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, this is on the Kendall Hunt instance site. Again, all of the 3 licensed partners of IM have the same problem, on their particular platform. It's also on the OER, whatever. But in this grade 6 example, decompose and rearrange this parallelogram to make a rectangle. Okay, so we have it right here. But the problem with remote learning now is that this is like, you need graph paper, you need scissors, and not every student at home is going to have that, right? So what we've done at GeoGebra, in trying to say embrace the equity principle, that listen, districts are spending tons of money on giving kids devices, families Wi-Fi that don't have it, so in GeoGebra's version, you see the same problem literally right here. So it's just a digital analog, what you have right there. So you can take that apart and move it. The question asks me to decompose and rearrange it to make a parallelogram. So what if or to make a rectangle? Gosh, would this work? Not quite, So obviously it's like a scissor cut, you know what I mean? So I could take it and, how do I find the area now? And so I'm responding digitally, if that makes sense. So that's really the whole theme here, is digital, 100% digital accessibility for all the activities within the curriculum.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is a very interesting, that is a really cool little cut tool that whoever built it in GeoGebra, that's a very cool cut tool.
Cool. The team is awesome. They really are.
Yeah, that was neat.
Yeah. So Alice, if you want to share your screen again, we can take a look at an entire lesson. And I want to showcase one thing that GeoGebra provides that I think is really helpful for everyone. So if you go to the top of the page, and let's look at grade 6.
Okay.
So here we can see all the units. Let's look at unit 1. And specifically lesson 17 towards the bottom. So the IM curriculum, it's structured so that each
17.
Oh, that's not 17?
Sorry, it's 7.
Oh, 7.
Sorry,
so
Money.
for the cubes, yeah. So each of these student lessons has a lesson component and a practice component, which you can see. And GeoGebra provides this really cool feature, which is GeoGebra Classroom. Have you all talked about GeoGebra Classroom before?
Yeah, we did that last week.
Okay, cool. Well, you can actually, from this curriculum, create a class out of this lesson. So there's a create class button at the top.
Tim and I differ on this. I like to date all my stuff. All right. So then I create.
Go for it. Yep.
Yeah. And so what you're looking at is the teacher view, right? So as soon as we get that link, we can all join your class.
Yeah, Alex, would you be able to throw that? You got it right there, right? If people who are watching want to join this class, feel free.
Yep.
The more the merrier.
Definitely. And that's one thing that's cool, like we're all in different places. I'm in Kansas, Chris is in California, and everyone's all over the place. And yet we can still all come together. I can see you guys' work. We can interact. It's just, to me, great time to be alive.
Totally. So which task should we all go to, Monique? I think it's number, gosh, let me see here.
Leave number 4.
Yeah.
I specifically like to go straight to the applets. I think a lot of students are similar.
Okay, so we're in, so wait, over here on the side, I'll make sure that we see that I had to click it to expand out.
Right.
And then I can find the task 4. Now, this is not what it looks like to you guys, though.
Right. But if you want to see a student view, you see where it says student view right underneath task 4. You see that hyperlink right there?
Okay, student view.
Yeah, click on that. It'll open a new tab. So you can get a preview right there of what we'll be doing. So scroll down a little bit.
It is scrolled down. I don't think there's anything. Oh, wait. No, there is.
Yeah, it's coming.
All right, task 4.
Yeah, so this is an activity, it's playing around with unit cubes and creating larger figures from it, because eventually the students will be talking about things like surface area and volume. But as you can see, this would be a little harder to facilitate remotely, like handing out cubes to students and watching them do it. Being able to, just watch how the students are playing with the cubes individually in their own homes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and you can, if you click on one of the red dots, you could drag the cube up a floor or two.
Okay, so
Yep.
I'm actually in the student view, so I'm looking at Chris's. How up can I bring it?
You can bring it as high as you want. Let's say right here for I don't know if you could see because I'm playing around in that same app as well. But yeah, right here it's like I'm starting to build now. You should see thumbnail changes. I think every 3 to 5 seconds. With 3D, it might be 5 to 6. It depends on so many factors, speeds and stuff like that.
Refresh rates.
Yeah, but if you go back a notch, see that's how I just left it. That's a preview. But if you go back and actually control plus make that bigger, you could watch real changes in those thumbnails. So if you're asking, I think that question asks kids to build the largest cube you possibly can with a max of 32 cubes, right? They're going to come to see. You give them a few minutes to play with it and watch them build in real time. Like they're gonna make some pretty cool discoveries here. Well, what is the biggest cube I can make out of 32 cubes? You know, 13 unit cubes right there. But here as a teacher, you're formatively assessing in real time, which is beautiful in 3D. And I can also think of some spin-off questions too, Alice. Like in previous chats, we've talked about how to copy an activity and make it your own. You might want to actually go to the 3 dots. If you're from the previous link, you may want to copy it and give kids more of an open middle theme where it's like, hey, you know what? Can you, out of the 32 cubes in here, can you create 2 different cubes with the same volume, 2 different composite figures, say with the same volume? I want to do the book. I will do the activity, but basically, can you create 2 different composite solids with, say, equal surface areas but different volumes? And then the flip, you know what I mean? So there's higher level thinking questions going on here, and I can assess remotely. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, what I like about this is many things. First of all, that it's free. I'm able to see what you guys are all doing as I'm just kind of sitting here. I've got all your thumbnails. I can click on them. I can see your work. And it's a visual exploratory approach rather than show your work, which if anyone knows me, I just wish is a phrase that would die.
Yeah. How do you show this work without it actually being envisioned? You wouldn't have seen, there'd be no way for you to realize that I don't know how to click and drag things around unless you were actually watching, right? You would also not be able to follow my thinking about how it was that I decided that I needed to, bring this one in and that one and take that one up higher or whatever.
Right. And this curriculum is awesome. It has so many enriching and engaging tasks like this. Now, the IM middle school curriculum originally has GeoGebra. Like if you look for this GeoGebra app on the other sites where they're found, this exact app is in there. Like IM has a whole collection of middle school apps, the GeoGebra components that are inside the curriculum you find on other sites and other providers of it. So, and it's open source, it's Creative Commons. We could put it in here, and so basically, just the IM team created this app. It's beautiful, but this is a versatile app right here that you could use to ask so many enriching, engaging activities for kids. It's fun. So.
All right. So what I heard you say, Tim, is like, this is really cool. You like how it is, but if I wanted to, I could have copied the activity and customized it. So I could worded things differently, obviously added in some of my own elements and my key phrases and things that I like. So you're not locked into, unlike the textbook, like you can't change the page.
Right. No, totally. And so, like, obviously, if you go to the hamburger menu in the upper left corner there, the 3 lines, go to. Oh, I'm sorry, you're in the class. You have to what you have to do is actually go back to the original. So if you go to that's it. Yep. So if you copy that activity, you just had it. You see that right there. Click that. Go to the 3 dots. If you copy the activity, you can delete the components you don't want. Duplicate the ones you do. You can make build me some composite solids that make blah, blah, blah. You could have a whole day's worth of, within a matter of 5 minutes of planning.
Very nice.
So,
Yeah, we knew that there's a lot of users who would love to be able to help create a lot of resources and just format things and so that other users could create classes for their students, things like that. But it can be time intensive. It can be a lot of work, and making sure everything is uniform and just has high enough quality and sticks to the original IM lessons, so that the users who make the copies of these activities have the choice to do their own customizations. That's where GeoGebra wanted to come in and help, especially since we have teams of authors who are good at making even like new applets and new reformatting questions so that they're more digitally accessible.
Awesome. All right, so what would you say is the top activities in the IM curriculum that you think a teacher would be really excited about?
Most of my favorites are in Unit 1, which is I know we're in the middle of the school year now, but Unit 1, I would say, I believe it's lesson 4, parallelograms. Yeah, a lot of the geometric ones they're more visually appealing.
Mm-hmm.
So they make it more fun.
So what I've been noticing recently is a lot of people asking about, how do we do fractions now that we are doing things remotely?
Fraction.
Where is that? I thought.
Like, you mean teaching fractions or showing them?
Trying to get that visual approach and the conceptual approach. So kind of curious.
they're there. They're there. I just forget do you remember which one it was, Monique? Put in the spot, but the one they had like the diagrams that you could choose the denominators and yeah. Trying to remember which one it was.
Yeah, I believe it's Unit 4, Lesson 11.
Unit 4, Lesson 11. That's 6. Unit 4, Lesson 11. Okay, look at that.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so the lesson usually has most of the applets.
Okay.
So in the beginning, there's a few warm-ups, and if you scroll down.
Oops. Okay, so if I scroll down.
Yeah, so you can click on the lesson link.
Okay,
and scroll down from here. There is an activity. Yeah, here, around here, and then I personally like the ones below, but we can also take a look at this. There is a little lower.
That's it.
Here.
Yeah. Okay.
So here, in this one, students can play around with a tape diagram.
Alice, can you not to interrupt? Could you hit the square in the lower corner, in the right corner, please, so we could totally take over your screen so we can see it better, please?
Whole screen.
Thank you. Yeah, perfect. Go ahead, Monique.
Okay.
So in this applet, the students have previously been working with a partner to divide fractions and try and create their own diagrams. But here, they're confirming their answers. So they have input boxes at the top where they can adjust the numerator and denominator, and they'll be able to see things dynamically change. They can drag components and figure out how to divide out the tape diagram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So try and adjust the numbers at the top. Oh.
I don't seem to be able to click on it. I don't know.
No, the
Lagging. I think it's just lagging.
Okay. Well, yeah, but the students also have, we provide like a pen tool to allow them to adjust or to annotate some of their work.
I don't know why it's not letting me type on here. I'm able to do the
You
other
have to click the ABC.
no. So you want to the input boxes where the 3 and the 4 are. You should be able to change that, but it's, for some reason, Alice's computer's freezing.
Okay.
But
It's not letting me do. I've done them before.
Anyways,
Awesome. Oh, check your answer. I picked that randomly.
yeah. Now in GeoGebra Classroom, when students check those, they won't see that. If the teacher chooses to show it, then that's, the check all that apply kind of questions, which there are a lot of, where there's 2 to the n possibilities, then yeah, that serves there. But outside of the context of GeoGebra Classroom, no, you could see what the answers are, whatever. But inside that, the students don't really have access to it unless the teacher wants to show the class that or whatever, But yeah. But again, it is an entire curriculum here. And over the summer, this curriculum will get improved with some new features coming to GeoGebra. There'll be some ways of GeoGebrifying it even better, if that's even a verb, you know what I mean? But like that kind of thing. So a curriculum is like painting the Golden Gate Bridge, right? You start at one end, you got to go to the other, but then once you're at the other end, oh crap, we got to go, there's things that we can improve here. So it's like, and curriculum, as you know, is always a fluid document anyway,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chris, where would you see, like, if you were to go do a PD with some teachers and say, hey, there's this free curriculum, which I think is obviously an easy sell in that aspect. Where would we start by getting them actually started that they're using it?
Yeah, I've been wondering that very question. Do you start with the lessons I think that teachers are most concerned about? I like that you asked the question about fractions, because teachers I work with most of the time are really concerned about how do I help kids divide, multiply, especially add and subtract fractions and that sort of thing. And how do we keep them, how can I make these even more visual? And this looks very interesting. And are there more visualizations that go with all of this? I imagine with illustrative mathematics, there's more illustrations that go along.
Totally.
Yeah. So currently we have all of what IM has made for their curriculum.
Okay.
And one of the improvements that Tim is talking about that I am been working on and kind of thinking about redesigning is basically making more interactive material rather than just answering just questions, more visualizations, things like that.
Okay.
Okay, so if they go to the GeoGebra homepage, they're going to come down and be able to find featured resource right here, or it's also here under resources on the left-hand side, I believe. Yep, right there.
Yeah, go to resources, the top row. Yep, the first one.
Okay, and so should I ditch my textbook? What is this? Can I just use this illustrative math and nothing else?
Many schools have done that. Many have.
Really?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is now, again, it comes to a point where it's like, now illustrative math, authored it, and they have 3, licensed distributors of it, that's like IM approved. I mean, Grace, we're not technically a licensed distributor of the, a certified distributor of it, but we have it using it open sourcely. Like, this is a non-commercial project that we at GeoGebra have done, right? So basically, districts that are interested in adopting this, this curriculum here in the fall, as GeoGebra being the official, provider of it, are welcome to. We're going to set up something with that very soon. Okay, and also Monique has some pretty cool news to share. So with looking to the future, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
So currently what you see on the homepage is the middle school curriculum, but we've actually been working on providing high school as well. So that is the 3 core courses, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2. And so we're working to have that ready for the next academic year, 2021 to 2022.
Nice.
Yep.
I know there's a big need to see a lot of the great design that's in IM's curriculum just made more digitally accessible for this online era.
That's hugely exciting for me. I've been on a rant about my terrible textbook, and it's round ice rinks.
Yeah. That was a great post today, by the way.
Come on, Alex. When you think of ice skating, you don't think of cyclic quadrilaterals? Come on.
Yeah,
I
come
do
on.
not think of cyclic quadrilaterals. It's amazing. It's just such a pseudo example that I've been struggling this whole years. I basically feel like I'm trying to just scrape together all these resources and curriculum because I need something that's better. And so I'm really excited about it. That's going to save me a ton of time.
It reminds me of, I think, Dan Meyer's TED Talk when he was like years ago. I think he was like people out in the boat, see like the triangular sailboat. Gosh, what's the first thing that jumps in my mind? Like congruent triangles or something like that, SAS. He was like
Yeah.
it's true. It's like, some of these real world examples textbooks come up with, they're so contrived. Like, who thinks of that? It's like, yeah.
Nobody. Textbook writers.
Textbook writers, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like if you're selling a book for a lot of money, you should have invested something into actually making it engaging and relevant. Because, all of us can write boring math problems. That's easy.
Right.
Sure.
So, yeah, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, so totally. Yeah, but go ahead. Any other questions?
This says I create assignments in Google Classroom. How easy is that?
With Google Classroom, it's very easy. The only thing you cannot do with a book, you have to do with a single activity. But if you go back to one of the components in the IM curriculum, now you want to go to GeoGebra first. We can go through this in 2 minutes or less, most likely. All right, so you want to go back to GeoGebra itself. Yeah. So.
Is this good?
Yeah, sure. Let's go to where it says lesson only or practice only. Say, let's just do one of those components there. Now, in the upper right corner, you see those 3 dots.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Melody. Right there. If you go to share,
Mm-hmm.
Google Classroom's right there. Now, you might have to answer yes once or twice to allow GeoGebra to access your Google Classroom because it cannot do so exclusively without your permission, right? But it's there.
About it. Wants to. I have some classes. This is my personal account, so.
You created
Your
a
computer in overdrive right now.
I'll try it again. Of course, we already saw that there it is. Just had a pop-up to approve it.
Oh, that's right. Forgot about that. For the first time, you need to approve a pop-up. That's right. I have a 3-minute YouTube video that walks through what Alice is doing right there. I can try to get it and put it in the chat there. What's that?
Is that on your YouTube page? I'll find it.
It's on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I have 2 or 3 of them, but I'll find the one that's the shortest because Google changed something back at the beginning of the year, but I can find it quickly. Give me 1 second. We'll do that. Sorry for the dead space here.
Well, we're waiting on Alice's computer
Alice's computer.
I think it did it, didn't it? It says the assignment's been created. Open it in Google Classroom. Okay, now
All
it went to
right.
a totally different window, but I'll drag that over there. Okay, so there it is. It's put the link in there for the students to do. Shows me.
Mhm.
Okay, sign in.
Oops, hang on. Find a better one here. Actually, let me just watch what you're doing there. I'll get that link in a second. You can see. Yep.
There's no place to answer. They can type their answer in there. They can read through the examples. If I wanted to make some videos and things, I could have customized this before I signed it.
Right, in Google Classroom. The workflow in Google Classroom, I'll get that link and I'll post it in a second. I just got to find the right one. But basically, the teacher shares with the Google Classroom. The students join that Google class, the classroom class. So technically, with Google Classroom, students don't need GeoGebra accounts to do the Google because they sign in through Google to Google Classroom, and it goes there. Their work saves in Google Classroom. Okay? The benefit there is the student work saves, great, just like it does in GeoGebra Classroom. But the only unfortunate thing with Google Classroom is that you don't get the live thumbnail updates like GeoGebra Classroom provides.
I see.
You know, so but again, I don't want to put one against the other, but it's just like each one does what it does well.
Can you explain that more clearly? Because they both use the same word.
I know. Well, Google Classroom is really like, see what GeoGebra calls GeoGebra Classroom. I like to think of it more of as a live lesson, right? Because students join. Let's put the photos here. Students join. How did that happen? Where do we go here? There we go. Students. Students join the class. Thanks, Alice. Students. If you think of what is a class, the students make up the class, right? The tasks and the activities make up your lesson, right? So some people, when they come to GeoGebra, it's understandable if they get confused because why are you calling it a classroom when it's really a live lesson? So think of a GeoGebra class as more of a live lesson. With tasks going on, you see thumbnails changing in real time. So you as a teacher can formatively assess, right? So, but with Google Classroom, you know, they call it Google Classroom. The students join only once, and then you have that stream continually updating, right? So, yeah.
All right.
So the GeoGebra Classroom is really best suited for formative assessment and not as well suited for summative sorts of work.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Totally. Now, because even as we talked before, in this whole COVID era, unfortunately, we all want it to be away, but unfortunately, it's going to take time. So it's like all assessment. I think Sunil, your math recess partner in crime, Sunil, put a post on Twitter like a year ago. He's like, all you teachers, it's like, you know, with summative assessment, you're wishing things could go back to the way they were, but right now, summative assessment, putting stock in summative assessment is like buying stock in Blockbuster Video. You know, it's kind of worthless. So like the whole, we need to really rethink of how we're assessing kids and go with the formative approach in terms of earning a grade, say, you know, and these are difficult decisions. They're not easy, you know.
And it really means a shift in the culture of teaching as well. You have to wrap your head around a completely different perspective on what it means to assign grades and to and what it means to be successful in a classroom. There's no that was really articulate. Sorry. Teachers are in a rough spot right now, having to make that massive cultural shift.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard. So that's why, like, was Alice and I have been talking, it's like, you know what, how could we assess students? Like, make it more authentic. The authenticity piece is hard, as enough as it is, right? But how can we formatively assess students, have them demonstrate mastery of these objectives in a remote or hybrid learning environment? I've been thinking about that a lot lately, and one again, it's one of many approaches. I think I love Robert Kaplinsky's Open Middle site. Yeah. Open Middle is a freaking amazing website full of rich resources. I've been on like this kind of hobby, just like trying to make a new Open Middle problem maybe once or twice a week, throw it out there. Hey, great, but it's just like basically to take an Open Middle question and to create, you know, a live lesson out of that and have kids engage. It ups the DOK level, right? Open Middle questions are not DOK 1. They are at least DOK 2. They can go to 3, even 4, depending on the question, right? And so having students work with an Open Middle problem, show their progress for a 40-something minute remote learning period, that I think they can demonstrate more understanding of what they know and don't know versus like a true false multiple choice. They're just going to ask Siri to
Right.
And we also are going to talk about that hopefully next week or the next 2 weeks. We could talk more about another chat.
Good.
So,
We got a lot on the list of things we could do. Let's keep doing them.
my gosh.
That's a good start. It's a real good start.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, but yeah, no, GeoGebra is going to keep on working on it. Monique has led the team in because she came to GeoGebra in like June or July and had this huge project dumped on her. We got to get ready by like mid-August, and she and the team did an amazing job. She led the whole team. She is awesome, and she's working on it now for the team for high school, and it's exciting to see what's coming. Looking behind the scenes, taking a sneak peek, but it's going to be awesome. Full curriculum sets. The middle school is going to be improved. The high school, it's coming, and yeah. We're going to send an invitation soon out to districts to try to pilot this thing, see who's interested, and have develop some kind of pilot program. And of course, any teacher anywhere could adopt this. You know, schools pay enough money for Wi-Fi and student devices; they shouldn't incur any other financial burdens for curriculum. Shouldn't be. That's GeoGebra's philosophy, and that's what we're trying to do. So,
very cool. Well, thanks everybody for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, thanks. All right.
Always fun.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.